By the time I noticed the silence, it had already settled into our house like dust, thin, invisible, and everywhere. It wasn't that Elena and I fought. We didn't. That was the problem. Conversations turned polite. Affection became scheduled. She started holding her phone like it contained something fragile, something that might shatter if I asked too many questions. When I'd walk into a room, the screen would flip face down in one smooth, practiced motion. At night, she lay beside me, close enough that I could feel the warmth of her skin, but distant in a way that made the bed feel miles wide. When I reached for her, she didn't pull away, but she didn't lean in either. Her kisses were quick, distracted, like check marks on a list. Then came the word she'd never used before. Space. She said it over dinner, twirling pasta she barely touched. I think I just need a little space. To clear my head. I nodded, even though my chest tightened. From me? She hesitated. Just long enough. A girl's weekend, she added quickly. A reset. I'll be back Sunday night. She smiled, but her eyes didn't join in. That night, she fell asleep with her phone under her pillow. I stared at the ceiling, replaying every moment from the past few weeks. The late showers, the sudden interest in lingerie she never wore for me, the way she started humming while texting in the bathroom. Around 2 a.m., I gave in to the thought I'd been avoiding. The tablet. We shared it for bills, movies, recipes. She'd forgotten it synced automatically. My hands shook as I unlocked it. The messages loaded slowly. Cruelly. A man's name. Fake casual. Dozens of threads. Hotel confirmations. Room numbers. Jokes about how she'd finally be able to breathe without me around. One message burned itself into my brain. I can't wait to have you all to myself. She replied with a heart. I sat there until dawn, numb and painfully clear-headed at the same time. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I planned. When morning came, Elena kissed my cheek, smelling like the perfume she used only on special occasions. I'll call you tonight, she said. I watched her car disappear down the street. Then I stood up, opened the closet, and began erasing myself from our life. Packing was strangely calm. I took only what mattered. Documents, clothes, my old watch, the photo of my father that Elena never liked because it reminded her of how serious commitment could be. I left the furniture, the wedding gifts, the future we decorated, but never really lived in. At the bank, I withdrew half the money from our joint account. Not out of spite, out of fairness. I left a clean paper trail. No drama, just facts. Back at the house, I printed the messages. Every flirtatious line, every promise, every lie that wore my wife's name. I slid them into an envelope and placed it dead center on the kitchen counter. On top, a single handwritten note. Enjoy your trip. By the time you read this, you'll be free. Then I walked out. The first night alone, I slept on a friend's couch. The second night, I checked into a small motel outside the city. Anonymous, quiet, mercifully boring. I ignored my phone. I imagined Elena laughing somewhere, touching someone else's arm the way she used to touch mine. I wondered if she felt guilty when she undressed, if she hesitated before letting him kiss her neck, if she remembered my hands there. By Sunday afternoon, the calls started. Missed calls, voicemails, texts that shifted from confusion to panic. Where are you? This isn't funny. Please call me. I didn't. She came home early. I knew because a neighbor texted me, said Elena looked shocked, standing in the driveway. The house was silent when she walked in. No shoes by the door. No jacket on the chair. The closet, half empty. And the envelope. She called me 37 times that night. I answered none. She finally reached me Monday morning. Her voice broke the moment I said hello. It wasn't what you think. I laughed softly, not because it was funny, because it was predictable. She told me the story she'd clearly rehearsed, that it was emotional, that she felt invisible, that the man meant less than nothing now, that the weekend fell apart because he wasn't who she thought he was. He left early, she whispered. I came home because I realized I was making a mistake. I closed my eyes. So did I said. She begged. She cried. She reminded me of our history, our vacations, the way she used to fall asleep on my chest. She said the intimacy had felt empty, that even when she was in his arms, she was thinking of me. That part almost broke me, but not enough. I told her I'd already filed for separation. That trust wasn't something you could apologize back into existence. That love didn't survive secrecy. She was quiet for a long time. Then she asked, "Did you ever think about forgiving me?" I answered honestly, yes, for about 5 minutes, before I remembered what respect looks like. The weeks that followed were messy. Mutual friends chose sides. Her family called me cruel. My mother told me she was proud of me, even though her voice shook when she said it. Elena sent long emails late at night. Memories, photos, apologies wrapped in nostalgia. I read none of them past the first paragraph. Healing wasn't loud. It was slow mornings alone. It was rediscovering the sound of my own thoughts. It was realizing how tense I'd been for years, trying to earn affection that should have been freely given. One night, months later, I ran into her at a grocery store. She looked smaller, quieter. We exchanged polite words. Nothing more. As I walked away, I felt something surprising. Peace. People think betrayal ends relationships. It doesn't. It reveals them. I didn't leave because she cheated. I left because she chose secrecy over honesty, comfort over courage, and excitement over commitment. Love isn't proven in grand gestures or whispered apologies after the damage is done. It's proven in the moments when no one is watching, and you still choose your partner. She wanted freedom, so I gave it to both of us. And for the first time in a long while, I finally felt free too.